Most people are looking at the small areas, the little color changes, and the little local value contrast, but not paying enough attention in the overall contrast between the light and the shadow. In this watercolor painting process, I'm going to emphasize on how to take care of the big contrast, making sure the shadow is dark enough before we move on to the smaller local area. Sometimes I like to do it from the background and before going into the face. Actually, it doesn't really matter much. But maybe for this painting, I'm going to give a little color into the here first before I go in the outside, and then I come back. In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to modify from the burnt sienna. I'm going to put a little burnt sienna over here. If you just use the burnt sienna, sometimes just look at the skin color. But sometimes it's not exactly, because the forehead, I'm going to start from the forehead, and the forehead I'm going to use this color plus a little bit yellow and the top of the forehead. And in fact, I'm going to use the big brush and the 1-inch flat brush. So I'm going to take this color again. You see that a little bit too warm, so I'm going to get a little yellow color. In fact, I get this a little green color, that's fine, coming over like this. That's a little bit better, even though a little bit more yellow over here. And now I'm going to add a little bit more water, and I'm going to start wash it. Using a big brush actually forces you to think big connection, big relationship. If you're using small brush and your mind tend to think about small. So this is very important that we use a large brush at the beginning, because we're all looking at the big area. And on top over here, the reason I stopped it because it needs a little bit more red color. So I'm going to just take a little red color over here, and instead I'm going to have it coming through over here. That is a little bit more red color. So you can change the color as you're washing down from the top to the bottom. Now coming down over here, I'm looking at the color, and the same color for the ear. So I'm going to paint it inside the ear too. So I'm going to keep it coming down on the cheek, a little bit more red. So I'm going to put it like this, and also painting around the eyelid. Okay, from here I'm going to going a little bit faster. Okay, coming down over here like this, and coming through. And I'm going to get a little bit more red color. I'm going to just get this a little bit more water. And you know the watercolor is going to get lighter after it dries. So not worry about that too dark, and maybe just right. Okay, I'm going to just paint it all over the place first. Okay, over the place like this. And all the way to the neck. I know the neck a little bit more purple color, so I'm gonna get this. It's not that warm, so I'm gonna have a lot more yellow. So when you see the brown color in the mixing system, you want to see it has red, yellow, and blue, but a little bit more of like an orange direction. In that case, I want to have a little bit more yellow and maybe some little blue colors. So that would be a perfect color for the neck. You still think about the 3 colors. Now it's good for the neck here. And connect it over here. And this actually a little bit darker. So I'm going to have that color come through over there. And we don't have to finish all the colors in the first round. Okay, that little bit too ambitious, and we're just going to have the first layer so we can modify it from. Okay, so on the T over here, I'm also going to lift up a little bit. We probably want to lift a little bit, making sure the brush is really dry, and then now we can lift up a little highlight. That's good. Use the corner. Leave a little highlight. Also here, leave a little highlight. That's good. And now take a look at on the ear over here, a little lighter, and the cheek a little lighter, like that. And look at the forehead on here, this area can be a little bit lighter, but a little bit too late to do that. It's already dry. Now this is fine. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to continue onto the shirt, but what color is supposed to be? I definitely want it to be darker, but it can be blue, it can be any color you want. So I'm going to get some red color first, mix with this color, and this probably too much purple colors. So I'm going to get a little bit ultramarine blue. This probably okay. We can try it. And probably fine. Just going to put this color in here. Like that. And just use the corner of the brush. Like this. And coming through. But when you see a color, you want to see how dark is the color in different location, because the lighting are a little bit different. It's showing a little bit different. It's coming up like this. Now on this side, when it's still wet, I'm going to make a little bit darker. So I'm going to make a little more of the blue colors. At this case, I'm going to have the brown color. A little bit more blue colors. I'm trying to make it much darker. Okay, that's good. And over here, we'll make it a little bit darker. And I'm going to make this a little bit darker. And on this side, it's the shoulder turning. Also in this location, can be a little bit darker. Just that. That's good. And with the same color almost, not exactly, the color need to be more brown, so I'm going to have a little bit more yellow color into here. There you can see that we find the color for the hair. Don't be afraid that use the big brush for the whole painting if you want to. Okay, I'm going to go in through over here. I refine the edge like this. Good. That's the hair. Okay, now I'm going to use this color. I'm going to add a little blue because on the top of the head, the hair color is not exactly the same color over here. It has a little bit more cooler, a little bit more neutral. Now I'm going to coming over here, get a little bit more blue colors. So at this step, we're just going to set the base color for on everywhere. I'm going to coming over here, and there will be more changes expecting after. So coming over here. And something I also want to, because I just add the dark colors on the hair. The outside is white. Inside over here is dark. And in that case, instantly create the sharp contrast. So we need to use the background to make this a little bit softer. Do a little bit more inside the face. So what I'm going to do, this brush is totally clean. What I'm going to do is just use the clean brush. I want to have this a little bit softer because it's easier to do that now when it's just wet. Like this. It's good. Like that. By the way, the paper I'm using is Canson paper. And I don't use it to do portrait that often. Okay. Now I think this is good. This is already dry. Dry really quick. Get this a little bit darker tone. And I'm going to put it into this area. Just use the corner of the flat brush. And I'm going to make this a little bit darker. Like that. So you need to see the shadow. Not just seeing the, oh, there's the eye, there's the nose. It's not just that. You need to see the structure. The shadow and the light create the structure. Okay, like that. On the side of the nose, I actually continue with the same color but a little bit lighter. And just wash it and coming in here. And inside over here should continue a little bit softer in here. Now I'm going to go into the corner of the mouth over here also need to be a little bit darker, like that, coming through, because this side is shadow side. Even though the lighting is not really strong. Now coming to the shadow side over here and the shadow side of the face. A little bit more. Now, good. Now what I want to do, I'm going to soften the edge over here. Well, you can do that later if you want. You still can come back. And this needs to be darker, but I don't want to do it right now. I want to get my attention away from here for a little while. So what I want to do, I'm going to do it into the background. What the background would look like, because right now it has lots of warm color over here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have some complementary colors. Maybe it's a good idea to have some green colors. So I'm going to use the yellow color mixed in here, which have some blue color already, and also have some red. So this color is not going to be a bright green colors. So this will be perfect. Have the three primary color all together over here. Now I'm going to put over here. So right now I'm just going to test the space. And that's okay for now. I'm going to also wet in wet connect into the hair. I'm going to get more yellow with the outer marine blue. I'm going to have a little bit more over here. Now I'm going to want to change the color a little bit when it's coming down over here. So I'm going to change that to a little bit more orange color maybe. Like that. And you're looking at what color you have. But no, it's too much like that color. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to have a little bit kind of purplish colors. Oh, but too close to the shirt. So I'm going to change it. Have a little yellow color over here and have little blue colors. I'm going to come back to this neutral color. So I'm going to connect over here. Also a similar value to the hair. Okay. Now coming through. Making sure enough difference from the color of the neck. Okay, that's good. I think pretty good. I always like to splash a little texture in the background, and I'm also going to make sure I take away the really accumulate wet on the edge. Now we are going to come back to the face area to use overlay techniques to create big enough value contrast. Use squinting so you can see the difference. I'm going to use a little red color. First we're going to overlay onto the forehead. You don't have to use the whole big brush, but the big brush, it forces you to look at the bigger connection. That's good. And by glazing the red color onto the cheek and the forehead, and now we are also wet the paper so that we'll prepare that we're going to doing the bigger adjustment. Okay, in this area, even a little more red. Okay, over here a little bit more red. Focus on big connections, not the small connections. And now it's very good. A little bit more red color in the ear. on this side. This technique called glazing, or you can say overlay wash. Wash the new color on top of the dry old color, and also use this big brush. Is very good lifting brush. The paper I'm using is Chen. So it's not a very good paper for a long-term development with watercolor. Now I'm going to getting into the shadow area, like in the forehead. So I'm going to come back to just use the 3 colors. So I'm looking at this brown color. I'm going to add a little bit ultramarine blue. Okay, a little bit more red color. And get the pretty good brown color. And let me see, what's the color? This is very similar. Looks like the same color that we're looking for on the shadow side. Want it to be darker. Darker enough to create a contrast between the light side and the shadow side. Okay, that's good. A little bit over here. And coming, squint your eye, you can see the difference. When you open the eye, they see like they're all kind of similar. But over here too, and make a little bit darker shadow, and in this area, and a little bit in the lower part of the eyelid. Okay, a little bit on this side. And now we can use this same color coming down to the neck. Now you can see the light side and the shadow side become a little more different. This is good. At the bottom over here, I'm going to give a little red color. I'm going to come back to continue developing the transitions as well as this red color. I need to put in the cheek area. When you're looking at the color, it's not just the color. You're also looking at how dark is that color would be. Like over here, the red color need to be darker. Okay, like this. And over here too, need to be darker. That's a little darker red. Good. Now on the forehead over here, have a little bit more red into this area. Okay, let's take a look. We're going to blend the color a little bit. Not totally dry brush, a little bit dry. Now we're going to use just the corner, the side of the brush, and now have the color blended in. But you don't want to have it overall smoothing. So over here, have some color, a little bit softer, like this. That's good. And have this coming in over here. And here we go. On the chin. But in this side, it's a little bit lighter. So I'm going to leave up that little color. That's good. And look at the forehead. This color a little bit too much, but we can just blend the color to make it a little smoother transition. On this side too. On the cheek over here, you need to squint your eye. This is a little bit too light. So I'm going to take this brown color and press a little red. Okay. And on the nose over here, looks a little bit more blue. So I'm gonna take a little blue color like this. Good. And under the nose, a little bit darker too. And now put back some darker color in this area. Make sure the color dark enough so your overall painting speed will be faster, because you don't have to come back and forth. Sometimes the paper just can't let you to continue doing many times. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to do a little lifting off. For example, this area, it needs to lift up a little light color right under the eyelid. With Canson paper, be a little careful. A little bit lifting, it could be lift up all the color. So be careful about how hard you're going to, or how much you're going to lift. Different paper, they react differently. Now the dark and light area, it looks good. Red color, just blend it over here, make it a little smoother, connecting from the nose edge over here, and on the make a little blue color on the lower eyelid. Like this. And on the cheek over here, now I'm lifting up a little color. In this way, the color will be smoother. Color into the lip. I'm gonna take a little red color, maybe a little big alizarin red, and here we go. Now we're gonna put a little color on the lower lip. Okay. After they put the color in, I would need to lift up a little color, so this highlight will become a little softer. So I'm gonna take out the excess water and just lift up the color for the lighter value on the lower lip, like that. And it could be a little bit more red color underneath here. I'm going to take this red color. Right over here. And the upper lip of the mouth, I'm also going to apply some color. Like this. Good. Looking for the shape. And similar color, and also can apply to inside the mouth here. And now I'm gonna put a little darker color. I'm gonna mix a little darker color and with the blue color and the red color, and plus a little brown color. The color will be pretty dark. Now I'm going to set it at the corner of the mouth. Okay, on this side, it looks like I need a little bit more blue, a little colder. On this side. Like this. Maybe a little bit suggestions. Underneath over here on the T. And a little bit shadow on the side here. Look very much the value that we wanted. Now we're looking at the eyebrows a little bit cooler, so get a little bit color over here like that, and we can do the line a little bit later. Okay, looking for if there's too dark. Okay, make it a little softer on this side. Now I come in to set a little color to the eye, just for the first round preliminary color. I'm gonna take this color, put it into inside the eye over here. The eye, there is quite a bit of eyelashes. Looking again. Some catch the shadow right here. And coming to this side. And it's not just all the same colors, and like say it has a little bit more red, a little bit lighter, and inside over here looking for the value and the color. Okay, and then on this side a little bit more red, like a warm brown color. Okay. Now we use almost the same color for the top over here for the eyelid. Okay, looking for the line. Always check with the reference, not just looking at your pencil line. Your pencil line may not be totally correct, so you still can change it based on your checking up with the reference as you paint. And a little bit darker in this area over here, a little bit deeper fold. That's it. And we're going to do more when we come back to the eye. And inside the eye, it has a little gray colors, not totally white. If it have it white, it looks like a little bit scary. A little bit more like blue-gray colors. Okay, I'm gonna take this color and come in over here, just set it inside the eye white. And this color should be also inside the highlight of their iris. I come back, have a little bit blue colors. Now it toned down a little bit and have it set inside the eye. And now I also going to put a little bit skin tone and put in here. It's a little bit too white here. And as well as on this side. And looking for the difference between the left side and the right side of the area. This side is a little bit colder. Okay, like this. That's good for now. And get a little bit brown color. Like this will be the color over here. As you develop the smaller shapes, smaller details, don't forget that you're going to return back to the bigger area, make a new judgment. Now looking at this area, before we set the line in here, we're making sure that we have this area in the correct value. And I'm going to, looking at that, I think it will be darker. So I'm going to put it over here, like that. Now on this side, a little bit darker, like this. And the nose here, I think is almost right. So I need to wet the brush. I'm going to start, have the color to blend in, but on the outside over here, a little bit more red. Over here, a little bit red. Now I need to blend that color up here. Okay, let's take a look. And this color need to organize a little bit, so I come back to use a bigger brush. Let's see. I'm going to use another round of red color, very light red color over here. I'm going to wash it over and the color will be smoother. But if you use the small brush, and it will create even more texture. Okay, that's good. The key is you need to use the bigger brush. So wash around the light area so you can see. Now coming down to this area, I think this area can be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to just use this brush right now. It's not too wet, but it's just good. So I'm going to use this brush, just wash the area. Make it a little smoother. And let it come down over here, which is the lower part of the chin is actually turning away from the light. So it should be a little bit darker. And over here a little bit red. And now I'm going to turn around. Okay. Looking for the connection. I'm going to clarify a little bit the corner over here. Should be a little bit lighter. Try to use larger brush and know how to use it. Know how to use it well. So it's really helpful. And the connection actually creating the illusion of the structure of the face. And on this side, Okay, and I'm going to get a little bit darker color, and maybe this color, good enough. Just use it on one side of the brush, which is on this side. Now we set a little darker color in this area, so separate it from the cheek. Okay, keep looking at if any places that we need to continue developing. Like the ear, I think the ear needs to be darker. Just to compare, screen your eye, you can see that the whole ear is supposed to be darker. So I'm going to make a little darker color. It's still a little red, but should be darker. So here we go. Now it's darker now. Now also going to lift up a little color for the reflected light right over here. I just use the small portion of the big brush. That's good. Like that. And on the neck over here, you can lift up a little color. Like that. And over here we can see a little bit lighter tone coming over here. We can lift up a little color too. Like that. That's good. Now we're coming down to the neck. We can see the neck over here. We can light up a little shape over here to suggest the structure on the neck. We don't have to do too much. And over here. Okay, so this is good. I need to get away from the face. We already have enough things on the face that we're going to work on it as we move on. I want to get into the background. And I think the background need to support the main object and also create a little bit more dynamics. Like going to see. I'm going to take this blue color. I'm going to see. I'm going to have it connect to the value of the hair, so that the hair doesn't really stand out, because I don't want the difference between the two colors or the value of these two colors too different. It would create too much contrast. Okay, now on the other side, I'm going to add a little yellow color. Like that, bring out a little color. And the E over here still need to be darker, so I'm going to add that color in here. Okay, now on this side could be okay. I'm just going to add a little blue colors, so give a little suggestions of something going on in the background. Maybe a little bit more, like this. Maybe a little, that is good enough suggestions. Maybe break a little, because I don't want it to look so sharp in the area. So on this side, I'm going to have a little bit red color coming over here. Like that. And maybe a little bit darker tone over here. So we're going to see how the whole color composition is going to bring together. And now we're coming back to the hair. And take a look at the hair. Need to be darker. I'm going to start with this brown color. This brown color is the same as the red, blue, and yellow. But I start with this color and can modify it. From here, I'm going to need a little bit more blue color. That actually look pretty close already. So I'm going to just use this color. I'm going to put it over here. And now we have another chance to fine tune the edge of the face. Good. Add some dot coming in. Very easy to lift it up. Okay. Look before you paint. Okay, that's good. And could be a little line coming out like this. That's good. And now we use this similar color but a little bit more blue. Let's see. So this will be the color we're coming up over here. If the color blend in, merge into the background, that is a good thing. So in that case, we actually have the softer connection between the hair and the background. Okay. Now what I want to do, I'm going to start doing some blending into the forehead. Like this. Looks nice. And I can have a little bit lifting over here to suggest the hair actually coming up into the up here. We don't have to do a lot, just a few, and I'll give enough suggestions. Like that. That's good. Now the hair getting a little bit better, and the background a little bit better. I don't want this color coming down like this, so I'm gonna wash a little bit and let that color coming back a little bit. Now it's a little bit better. Now I'm gonna come back to do a little bit of the shirt. Now I'm going to mix the new color. Have a little blue, and this is good. I want it to be darker. Okay, I'm gonna come in over here to reshape a little bit of this shape, and over here like that, coming up. That's good. Now I'm gonna come back here over here to reshape the edge over here. It would be like this, coming up and looking at the back. Give a little smaller shape, like that. And now coming to the edge over here. And also on this side, give a little bit darker. Now the shirt look better already. I'm gonna soften a little bit over here, but you don't want to make the texture of the paper showing too much. So I'm gonna add a little color back in here, like that. I'm gonna wash again with this color, a little bit more wet. I try to avoid too much texture. So when you're painting portrait, we need to understand some human anatomy, knowing what is underneath. So it's very important. gonna give a little suggestions to the hair over here. I'm gonna do a little lifting. Like that. The can sandpaper is very good for the lifting. You can lift up the colors really easily without almost no effort. But be a little careful, you don't want to over lifting and you create too much texture. So give enough. Okay, now I'm gonna come back to use the round brush. Now I'm gonna set a darker color. So I'm gonna get a little blue color and get the burnt sienna mixed together. This color is pretty dark. I need a little bit more red. I'm gonna use the alizarin red, a little bit darker. Okay, now I'm gonna come over here. Here we go. Set the very darker tone. Okay. Then now create some contrast. Okay, now come back over here to give a little darker shape. This gap is very dark. Okay, good. Looking for the shape. Okay. I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter. And now give a little detail over here. That's good. Now let's see. We want to soften a little bit over here. Just use blend a little like this. They're probably good enough. And now we're gonna come back to take a look at the face. And we can finish the paintings really quickly. And before we do into the details, we want to do a little bit adjustment. So I'm gonna take this brown color. I think this color, when you enter the round on the neck over here, I think when we do the lifting, we lift a little bit too much. So I'm gonna come back over here. And also at the same time, we're gonna add a little bit darker brown color and looking for the color and looking for how dark is the color. And right under the chin, we're gonna add a little bit more separation. Like that. And when I'm doing this, I'm gonna lightly blend it on both sides. Like that. That's good. Now looking at over here is some very thin hair coming down over here. So you need to give a little suggestions that actually the hair over here is pretty thin. So that's good. That fixed that problem. And now we're gonna come into give it some details. Now we're looking into the eye. I'm going to take this dark color. Now coming over here looking at the edge. Look at the corner of the eye. Okay. And set the dark color into the iris. Okay. Now I'm gonna see, I think the blue color can be a little bit darker, so I'm gonna get a little bit more blue colors coming in. Good. A little bit dark over here too. Now we can have a little bit warm color, like a little bit even purplish colors. I'm gonna have this coming in. That's good. Now I use a little bit brown colors, not so much red. Now I'm gonna give a little bit suggestions like this. That's good. And as well as here a little bit. Now I'm gonna make this even a little bit lighter, soft, and there's a little bit connected, a little softer. Okay, now I'm gonna come into give a little bit suggestions of the eyelashes. So okay, here. And then coming to this side. Give it a little more suggestions for the eyebrows. Nose. And now we already have all the color we need. Let's get a little bit brown color mixed into here, and that's get a little bit colder. Now we're gonna looking into the nostril. That's good. And we're gonna give a little bit lighter color, make it a little bit lighter for the side over here, maybe a little bit red. Okay, that's good. Look, think, and then take a look here. And on this side. That's good. Now we're looking back into the mouth, and now I'm gonna this is a good color, and make it a little bit darker, a little bit more red, and mix with the brown colors. That's good. Looking for that color. Spend enough time to mix the correct color. Okay, and inside over here. Okay, like that. That's good. Look at this corner. And now I need to leave up a little color, but be a little careful. Canson paper is very easy to overlifting. A little bit lighter at the corner over here. That's good. Like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna come into over here underneath. Give a little suggestions, some little detail over here, the separation between the upper lip and the teeth. Like that. And up here, we need to just get a little bit more red color. Like this. Yeah, shrink the space a little bit. Expand this dark area. Like that. That's good. Now underneath over here, now I'm gonna give it like that. Try not to give too dark color between the teeth. You would make it overemphasize. Now we want to maybe I'm thinking about whether or not I should do the okay. Should I paint the bracelet? Maybe by now the bracelet's already off, so I may be just going to not showing it. Okay. So now take a look. And the corner over here, I can see that there is going up a little bit. Now as you see, we're getting into more and more of the details. But that is only do it after the relationship, the whole overall light and dark colors and all the in place. So let's take a look. We need a little bit color over here. Put it over here like that. And also a little bit warmer. That is in here. Like that. That's good. Now we're going to work into the both side of the nose, the wing of the nose. That color is not so warm, so I'm going to get a little blue color into the mixture. Okay, like that. And I'm going to put a little color over here. And also on the other side, we're going to make it a little clear. So first, we're going to take out this color on this side of the nose. Good. And that's probably good enough. But I'm going to add a little bit red color outside over here. Like that. That's good. For the mouth over here, I think I can move the lip a little bit higher. So I'm gonna get a little bit red color and I'm gonna expand it a little bit. Sometimes a little bit change and change the illusion. I'm gonna have it a little higher over here. Just a little bit more curve, like that. Good. And the corner over here, this dark color can be even a little bit higher. This a little bit, it come up a little bit more. And that means under here I need to remove some colors, so because I want the corner a little bit higher. That's good. Inside here I'm gonna have a little bit more red color in here. It's showing inside of the mouth over here a little bit red. Okay. Now we can touch up at the corner over here. Now I'm gonna clean the tea a little bit, and this too much red in here. It's very easy, just remove that. And the bottom of the tea can be moved a little bit lower. And also I'm gonna make the tea a little bit more white up here. That's good. Like that. It's very easy. Let's take a look. When I squint my eye, I see the shadow side of the lip over here actually a little bit darker, so I'm gonna just cover onto the light area. That's good. Let's work into the ear. Now I'm gonna take a little red color and suggest it. There's a little shape. Like that's good. And a little bit darker. That's not very dark, but instead a little bit more red. I'm gonna put it on the edge here. Like that. And now coming a little bit cooler color. A little bit blue, and this is the right color over here. Like that. Now we come to the left side. Okay. That's good. And now the portrait get better and better. Now I'm thinking about maybe this tea should not be so white. So I'm gonna add a little bit color over here, because this side a little bit more turning into the shadow side. Now look a little bit better now. And now we're looking into inside the eye one more time. I think inside the highlight it has a little bit more blue color. So dim it down a little bit, and on this side also dim it down a little bit. Like that. Now let's see, looking at the hair on the top, I'm gonna just give it a very thin suggestion, right? Thin hair, a little thin line coming up like this. Give it a couple lines to suggest that. That's fine. Now looking at the top, that's exactly the effect that we want, because we don't want it to look too much contrast to the background. Okay, I'm gonna give it a couple lines over here. Like that. And maybe a line coming through, showing the hair. Okay, sometimes enough is enough. You don't want to overdo it. Okay, now this is good. I'm gonna give it a little suggestions on the hair on this side. Like this. A little bit yellow. Okay, give it a little detail, and the back over here, a little color, and then a little bit suggestions. That's good. And coming over here, that's good. Now I'm gonna draw a little line on this side.